We in real estate got really good at driving NASCARs. Where NASCARs, you drive straight or you turn left. They're not engineered to turn right, only turn left, somewhat ironic. And you're driving at 150 miles an hour. What we in real estate now have to do is learn how to fly fighter jets, where you're going 600 miles an hour, turn right, turn left, go up 5 miles in the air, or crash and burn in seconds. Far more complex, much more risk, much more upside, but we need a different skill set. The other thing that we've learned about walkable urban is that as you add each new element, it just adds to the value of everything all around you. I was talking to Mike about his Hampton Inn just a little while ago, and talking about, it'd be great to have more hotels, more apartments, more retail downtown. He would welcome it because as that puts more people on the street, that's going to give more business to him. You start what is an upward spiral of value creation if it's in walking distance of what you've built. And this upward spiral means increased property values, and it means increased taxes, but it also means that you're going to have a serious affordable housing challenge for decades to come because of that pent-up demand. And that's telling me that I've got a flight. Now, there's 5 types of regionally significant walkable urban places, and I want to really just focus on downtowns, but I want to let you know that it's not just about downtown. First, of course, there is downtown, and that's where most of these walkable urban places start. And these are lists of downtowns that were dead 20 years ago and today are at critical mass. And then there's my favorite, are downtown adjacent places. These are places immediately adjacent to downtown. There'll be 4 or 5 of them surrounding your downtown, generally lower density, different character, really kind of unusual and fun places. Then there's out to the suburbs, because my research shows that only about 30% of the demand for walkable urban development will go into the center city. 70% will go out to the suburbs. And first will be suburban town centers that have been redeveloped. And Fairhope is one of your examples here of a suburban town center. It's been around hundreds of years. That is a great turnaround story. And we see this throughout the country in 18th, 19th century town centers that have been turned around throughout the US. The biggest category is going to be the redevelopment of strip malls. There are 10,000 dead or dying strip malls and regional malls in this country, and many of those are going to get reconverted into high-density, mixed-use, walkable urban places. And then finally, there is a small category, greenfield development, where you just add water and poof, instant urbanity. It takes a lot of money to do these, highly risky, but there are some deeply demented people out there that try to do it. The place to see more walkable urbanism than any place else in the country is metropolitan Washington, D.C. I moved there 6 years ago, and one of the reasons I moved there from Santa Fe, New Mexico, is because, which is another great walkable urban place, is because I came to realize that Washington was the model by which we're building the built environment. There are right now 36 walkable urban places that are either at critical mass or emerging. 20 years ago, there were 2. And if you say, well, Washington's not a great model because, heck, that's where the national government is. Well, rumor has it, I can't verify this, but 20 years ago when there were only 2, I think the federal government was there as well. So what that means is that there's somewhere between 4 and 6 regionally significant walkable urban places per million of population. So here's one example, as I say, downtown DC. 20 years ago, downtown DC was a place you wouldn't be caught dead in. Then again, you might have been. 10 years ago, they had 90 surface parking lots. Today, they have 0. They're all redeveloped. The last project that can be redeveloped in downtown is under construction. It also happens to be the largest real estate project in the country, Heinz is building it out of Texas. And once that project is done, it's over. Because of the height limit, there's no more building of any substantial nature in downtown DC. Here is a downtown adjacent place, which is the west end of DC, which 20 years ago was filled with surface parking lots and light industrial. The west end of DC is now built out. There's only one lot left to do. But then let's go to towns that make more sense to you all here, towns that are under 500,000 in that metropolitan region. My favorite is downtown Chattanooga. I've been working on this town for 30 years. And here's a downtown, and here's a city that was a former Rust Belt town, on its back economically. 25 years ago, it had the worst air pollution in the country. Los Angeles was number 2. Now the air is cleaned up, primarily because they lost their industrial base, but their civic leadership just said, we're going to make this downtown work. And they just have done remarkable things starting in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's one of the great models of a downtown turnaround for a town that is 515,000 people. But it wasn't just the downtown, it's also the downtown adjacent places. On the right, you can see the map of downtown. The downtown is the large oval, but the North Shore on the other side of the river, and the Arts District just to the south of that on the south side of the river, and the University District by UT, and then the south side. These are all downtown adjacent places that are just thriving at this point. Downtown Greenville, they had a beautiful waterfall that they put under a road. They got rid of the road, had the waterfall be daylighted once again, put their baseball stadium downtown where all baseball stadiums should be, and they have just embraced their downtown.